Here you go. That's 6A. The rest of them are behind them.
Let's see, Pacelli plays Savannah Christian.
There's all our matchups.
Oh, cool. Man, you're a beast.
That's what I was pulling up.
Greenville, Pacelli, Calvary and Sherwood, Gainesville. That'll be a fun one to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I think, is that y'all's game of the week, or what's
Be a
the
question for Mr.
No, actually, our tailgate is Marion County, Greenville.
Oh, cool.
Just because we were just up at
Harris County,
County last week.
Cool. All right.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
All righty. In 3, 2, 1. Well, guys, we've made it again. We are now in the second round, third round for our only Alabama team love in the playoffs. We welcome you to week 12. I'm losing count of these weeks of the PrepZone football preview. I'm Jack Patterson. That's Jonathan Husky, sports director extraordinaire. That's David Mitchell, Ledger, Inquirer, Prep sports writer. And I'm just
extraordinaire. Thank you. I was waiting for it. Sorry, Jack. Good job.
Harsh.
Let's get into this already.
The list looks a little shorter this week.
The list is a lot shorter than it was last week, to say the least.
I've started calling last Friday Black Friday.
Yeah.
Not the day after Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah,
It was not pretty for some of our teams. Central going down, the Prattville, the ultimate revenge pretty much.
Yeah.
Opelika losing a heartbreaker on a goal line stand in overtime after coming back from 21-0 down late in the third quarter. I was at that game. Opelika, a remarkable comeback, but just came up that short. And pretty much everybody else. LaGrange lost to Houston County, Northside to Northside Warner Robins. Carver, boy, them extra points came up huge, didn't it?
Aye. Said all season long that was going to bite them.
We said
it. Finally did.
You got it.
Just at the absolute wrong time.
Yeah, that's the worst time to have it come back to get you, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we got to keep in mind, Harris County had a scare of their own against Warner Robins.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that last week. Warner Robins' good program.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's a credit to them because Harris County's a great football team, too. It's a credit to Warner Robins for hanging tough in that one. Mm-hmm. The better team won, though.
Yeah,
Definitely. So let's go ahead and talk about the teams that are still alive. How many of them are left? We'll start with Harris County. Tough test this week going up against Gainesville, state powerhouse.
Yeah, well, they got some bad memories from a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Faced Gainesville, Mr. Number 4.
That
is
would
no
be,
longer
That
Deshaun
would be
Watson.
Deshaun Watson, who, by the way, is the quarterback at Clemson now.
Yeah. They came down here and put a hurt on Tommy Park's team.
Didn't they drop 60?
64-13 final. Again, Deshaun Watson is gone, though. This time it's, kind of Taquan Marshall's game to lose, I think. He's the senior leader on this of the two teams here. Gainesville, not as strong as they used to be, still putting up a lot of points this year. It'll be interesting to see how ready Harris County is for that kind of test. I would say they're ready, and I would say scoreboard operators need to get
get loose,
get their finger ready. There's going to be a lot of points.
There's triple digits on the scoreboard in Harris County.
I think that's the question about this game is that both teams are going to score points. I don't think that's a question. Which defense can make a play?
Right.
If there's whichever defense can make a play, be it either a big stop on a fourth down conversion late, or an interception, or something to kill a drive. That's going to be the difference in this game because Taquan Marshall's going to get his, Tay Crowder's going to get his, Gainesville's going to get theirs. Whichever defense can make a play and change the outcome of the game, I think will win the game.
I'll say this about these two teams. Deshaun Watson, Taquan Marshall is not Deshaun Watson.
Right.
Great player. Mm-hmm. Deshaun Watson is an otherworldly, potential
once in a lifetime kind
potential
of high school
Heisman contender in college, potential first-round draft pick down the road. That's how good he is. Mm-hmm. But of the two teams, Taquan Marshall kind of represents that player that can beat you in so many different ways. Can beat you through the air, very efficient, doesn't turn the ball over much, and when things break down, very tough to bring down, very tough to corral once he hits open space. That was the struggle that Harris County faced a couple of years ago against Watson. I think Marshall brings that now to Harris County against Gainesville. That's going to be very, very tough for Gainesville to make that stop that you're talking about. You know, of the two teams, I think the challenge is bigger for Gainesville's defense than vice versa.
The thing that what struck me as we shoot this on Tuesday, we talked to Quan earlier today. You asked him about that game a couple of years ago and if it was on their mind, and it struck me because a lot of times you ask guys like that, and it's like, oh no, we're not thinking about that. We're just focusing on it. He admitted it. He said this is a revenge game for us, and that, I think that's good for them. I think they need to kind of tap into everything they have to get past these guys.
It wasn't that they lost by a little bit a couple of years ago. They were, to be honest, they were embarrassed in that game. They were run off the field by a team that was much, much better than they were. Keep in mind, though, we also talked about with Marshall today about the progress over the 3 years. This is kind of the culmination of a 3-year progression of this team. They get 8 wins, a school record 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They get 9, a school record last year. Now they're 9-2. Matched their longest, actually broke their longest winning streak in school history, and now they get a chance to set a new high in wins. And it's not that they're thinking about that, but this is that 3rd year in that progression. They were run off the field a couple of years ago, and now this is their chance to really establish themselves, say, hey, we are among those best teams in the state. And I think that it would be a statement for them, big time. And I think they're very aware of that situation.
Sure.
You know.
2 words to describe this game: track meet.
It may
Very well
be a
could
track
be.
meet.
Could be first to 50. One of those things.
Yeah. In that cold though, I don't envy those defenders bringing down Mr. Crowder. It's a big boy.
I don't envy him.
I mean, can we talk about Taquan Marshall not wearing sleeves? I mean, it's supposed to be warmer this Friday than it was last week. But last week I was at Harris County. I was wearing like a thermal and a polo and a jacket and a hat and gloves, and I was miserable.
At least he wasn't.
I'm a wuss, but I was miserable. He's walking around in no sleeves. Just
At least
like
he
a
wasn't
boss.
eating ice cream on the sideline.
Oh my gosh!
If you watch Sports Center over the
Minnesota
weekend,
game, right?
Yeah, you saw that.
15 degrees,
No big
blizzard.
deal. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a fudge pop.
Might as well. Can't get any colder.
Yeah, that's right.
You're probably warming up at that point.
Yeah,
eating the ice cream.
That's true.
Yeah. Another game, big game. This has potentially state championship implications involved. Callaway on the road to the House of Pain against Washington County, state powerhouse, ran through their region schedule this year. Godwin and company has got their work cut out for them.
What I'm going to say about this game, because I'm not going to pretend I know a whole ton about Washington County, but as soon as the matchups for this coming week were set last Friday, I got in touch with our Macon affiliate to see if they were shooting that game, to see if they could get video of it, and the guy I talked to, he said, yeah, we'll shoot it, and he said, just as a heads up, it's going to be a bloodbath. And I didn't say anything back to him, but I thought, I don't know. I mean, because if you look at it on paper, sure, but anytime you got a guy like Terry Godwin, the question is he healthy? But if you have a healthy Terry Godwin, that's a wild card you can't account for. And anytime you got a 5-star recruit like that on your team, you got a shot.
I'll say this for Washington County. What I do know about them, Mr. AJ Gray is their quarterback, and he is maybe the leader in the house to be the all-class player of the year for Georgia. Phenomenal season, had a great season last year. One of the toughest players to defend, like a Terry Godwin, as far as one of those guys that you just circle. I told you before we started talking on air here, I got the winner of this game winning state. It's just that I got Washington County winning this game. So.
Making the pick.
Well, I will tell you this: if Callaway's going to win this game, Godwin's got to have a big game. We know that, but it's going to be the other guys. It's going to be the role players. Eddie Culpepper got to have a big game. Braylon Sanders got to have a big game. Your role players have got to come through here in the clutch, because they don't call Washington County Stadium the House of Pain for nothing. It's incredibly hard to win in Sandersville.
And that's a good point. We mentioned Terry Godwin. We mentioned A.J. Gray. It's 22 players got to play on the field, 11 at a time. You're right. It's going to come down to more than just those 2 players, but it certainly helps to have them.
Yeah,
on
I'm not
the
going to
field.
turn it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, I just know that the winner of this game is going to the state championship. I just don't know who. that tells you how good both of these teams are.
Well, and it's no embarrassment for either team to go down. These are a couple of good football teams.
Exactly. Very good. Another one. State championship, guys. Down in Albany.
It sure is, yeah.
Calvary Christian going for the GICAA, not a mouthful, AA championship against Sherwood Christian.
Mm-hmm. 4th year as a program. 3rd straight time they made it to the semifinals. We talked to them before the season to those guys about how it was pretty much. Anthony Santiago told us it was state championship or bust.
Oh yeah.
They didn't want to get to the semifinals again. They wanted to get over that hump and really prove themselves as one of those great teams.
Well,
and you picked them.
Yeah, I called them beginning of the season. I thought they were going to contend. What I remember about them, I remember going out to one of their practices before the season started, and Brian Osborne telling me that before, in the previous iterations, whatever alphabet soup kind of organization they were playing in, they were playing against schools 2, 3, 4 times the size that they were. They're having to travel 2-3 hours for a region game, and then now they get into this GICAA and they're playing against teams that are their size. I think this is the farthest trip they've had to make this year.
Yeah.
And
Albany, long way.
Yeah, and
long way.
right.
Hour and a half.
And I mean, it seems like once they've leveled the playing field, it's like, it seems that I think tells you even more how good they've been these last few years to make it to the state semifinals.
Sure.
In what they've been playing in, but now they're kind of playing, again, a level playing field. They're really doing some things. I'm interested to see what Sherwood Christian's a good team. They're a real good team.
Yeah.
But Anthony Santiago is a load. Jacques Green.
Yeah. They played earlier this year. Sherwood won late touchdown with about a minute to go in the game. Tough to recover from that. But it's 2 very, very evenly matched teams. Like we talk about with guys like Harris County, that with that offense, Calvary Christian's offense, their running game, it's going to keep you in most every game that you're in. You're not going to get blown out.
Yeah.
Now, if you get behind, turn the ball over, you
then
fail
you got
to
some
execute.
issues, sure.
Because it's tough to come back when you're not a passing offense. But if they execute, protect the football, they're going to give themselves a chance to be in the game late. And wouldn't be surprised to see our first state championship of the year coming home to Columbus next
Absolutely.
next week.
It'd be very cool.
Definitely. And like we've talked about with Central and Prattville last week, nothing's like the ultimate payback. And I can guarantee those Knights will love nothing more than to go down to Albany, beat the team that's given them one of their only losses of the year, and beat them for the state championship on their home turf.
Sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Single A is in session this week.
Finally.
Exactly.
Seems like it's taken forever.
Exactly.
Just
We'll
excited.
start off with the number 1 seed on the public side of things. Marion County looking to defend their state championship. They'll host Greenville in a rematch from earlier this year.
It's 15 wins in a row now for Marion County, and there's a reason they continue to win games, and it's because, well, for one, they're a good football team.
Yeah.
They're a really good football team. For another, they do things the right way. They execute. They have been in this position. It doesn't matter who they're playing. They're not fazed by the opponent. They've gone up against good teams. They came from maybe the toughest region in Single A this year and escaped it. I mentioned a couple weeks ago, Pacelli coach Randy Grace telling me that nobody's going to get out of this region without a loss.
They did it.
And here we go. Marion does it. And that tells you what kind of football team they've got. They've played Greenville. They've done well against Greenville. Never can underestimate a team. But again, that goes back to their experience. I don't think they get caught in a trap. I would be surprised to see Marion County get trapped.
Yeah.
They're not going to get surprised by it.
Yeah. Mike Swaney said today, here on Tuesday, that they're getting 2 starting defensive linemen back that haven't played since the Hawkinsville game. And he says they're the healthiest they've been all season.
Which is frightening.
So, I mean, they're peaking at the right time. Everything is coming together at the right time for them to get back to the Dome.
Yeah, and we mentioned a few minutes ago about luck and how big a thing luck plays in the playoffs too. You get the guys right back at the right time. When things just kind of fall into place, when you're already a great football team and then things kind of fall into place, things look really good for you. Now, you never know.
Yeah.
But Marion certainly looks poised.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Poised.
poised to make another run to the dome.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also in single A, private side, Pacelli, they are the 11th seed. They'll hit on the road to 6th seed Savannah Christian.
And let me tell you why this game is a little bit tougher for Pacelli. There's a kid for Savannah Christian whose name at the moment escapes me, but is a 5-star recruit, Alabama commit, that had some eligibility
Demetrius
issues.
Robinson.
Yeah, that's his name. Eligibility issues earlier in the season. Something to do with if either of you guys know, jump in. But something to do with
He transferred.
as a transfer and
He moved with
an address or something or other, and yeah. Anyway, he hadn't played him a good chunk of the season. Is back eligible. Will be back for this game.
It's luck.
Yeah.
Talking about when things falling into place.
It's a bad man.
I know Pacelli wanted to be in a better position than they're in right now. They wanted a home game, and it's tough to really feel like you've got the team that is capable of being in that upper echelon, which they were at one point this year. They just ran into that region and lost some games against really good football teams.
Dooley, Hawkinsville, Marion County.
But that takes us back. You got to execute when you get your chances. Games like Dooley, being that close to Marion, it hurts them. That said, I've seen them play a couple of times this year. They're a good football team that, like we said about Calvary, their offense is one that if they protect the football, if they execute, they're going to keep themselves in games that could otherwise get out of hand against some other teams. Now, will it be enough? I don't know. They're obviously playing a really good football team. But, they're going to keep themselves. If they execute, they're going to keep themselves within striking distance.
I'll say this about Savannah Christian. I'm not going to sit here like Jonathan said. I don't know a ton about Savannah Christian. I do know this. So they've kept all their opponents. They've not given up more than 100 points this year. They've given up, I think, 96 points the entire season.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the toughest defenses in single A.
Now, the one thing about this game is that this is a program defining win for Pacelli if they
This
win.
would be that one that we've talked about all year. I'll pick the over on the points for Pacelli. I think they get over that 9.6 points per game. I think Savannah's going to have a tough job to corral them for 4 quarters. I think they're going to get a couple.
Pacelli, extremely dangerous.
Very dangerous, and especially if they get out of this game.
Get out of this, and then you never know what happens against maybe a Mount Perrin.
Right. Who is one of the best teams in the state. It's
the playoffs, man. You never know.
Right. It's the playoffs. You never know. You're going to get a good team every week. But that's why it hurts that they're a little bit lower than they want to be. But it is what it is.
You never know what's going to happen.
You just got to get out there and lace them up and play who you're matched up against.
Exactly.
That's why they play the game.
Notasulga is a single A team out of Alabama. As good as the single A football and for single A in Georgia is, single A, at least around here, is not as strong over in Alabama. They came out, they were they were a 2 seed, I think, out of their region. Got a win in the first round and are still moving on. I mean, they beat Fruitdale last week, and that's a what?
Beat them pretty
4-hour drive, I think.
Beat them pretty handily.
It's like
138-20.
drive. Yeah, it's like a 3-4 hour drive for them. So I mean, that's for. I'm not going to say I don't know a whole ton about the Notasulga Blue Devils right now, but I mean, for them to go and go 3.5, 4 hours away, beat a team like you said handily. It's a strong, at very least, a very strong mental football team there. So and this is quarterfinals. I mean, this is getting close, go down to it for Alabama. So.
This is the time when that mental aspect can mean.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed in that single A bracket though, a lot of region champions went down, especially in Notasulga's side of the bracket. Fruitdale was a region champion and knocked them off at home. So a lot of parity. A lot of parity in single A in Alabama.
Has the potential to be a good game. Yeah, in Maplesville, Notasulga.
I'll be there.
There you
We
go.
might have a host of good games this week.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a little bit. But now we're going to send things over to Dane because, well, Dane just does Dane things on Dane's World.
Do Dane things, Dane.
All right, so tailgate is Marion County, Greenville.
What are Dane
Yes.
things?
I don't know what Dane things are. I'm assuming eating Chipotle,
He does enjoy the Chipotle.
Yeah,
among other things.
that's funny.
All right, so I'll just wrap
Although
it
for
up.
my money, Barbaritos better than Chipotle.
Heck yeah. They're building one down on...
They got two.
There's one on the landings.
Right now.
In the landings right now.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I've been there like a dozen times. Yeah.
There's one that's opening on Broadway now.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's one that's open now in the landings,
And you just...
right next to your pie.
Yeah.
You just ruined my diet, man. I'm gonna be at Barbaritos all week.
Yeah, yeah. I wish it wasn't $10 a pop though.
Yeah.
We should
So
probably wrap this thing up.
yeah, we probably should.
Anyway,
I'll just say, we'll be at the tailgate. Ask you where you're going, Jonathan. I think you're at home.
I'm at the Cottonmouths game.
You're at the Cottonmouths game, and I'll be trying not to get lost in Notasulga.
It's not that hard. Can't let it intimidate you.
Too late. All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Dane Young doing Dane things as always. We'll wrap this bad boy up. Follow us on Twitter. We'll be tweeting from wherever games we're at, giving you all the sports and scores and highlights. David, where are you going to be at this week?
I'm gonna be at Marion, it looks like, this week, and head over to out to Buena Vista and see some good 1A football.
Nice. I'll be in Notasulga seeing those Blue Devils we were just talking about. They'll be playing Maplesville for the right to go to the semifinals. Hey, 2 games away from Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Can't beat it.
It could happen.
Can't beat it. And,
Tailgate game, Greenville at Marion County, single A first round. We'll be there, first edition, evening edition. Dane will be there. And, hey, Bob.
Yes.
Is it you or David at the tailgate?
It will be the Sir David Reese will be out there.
All right, so it'll be Dane and David down at Marion County Eagle Stadium.
We just get our information on the fly.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's how we do things.
Good job the last time. We had so much fun down there. They had banners with their names.
Yeah. They decided to go back. Yeah, we get everything on the fly. 7 playoff brackets right here, folks. So
I will say we're trying this week. We will try to effort if every local team, regional team that's playing, we effort to have those highlights on the PrepZone. There is not a game that is happening that we won't have video of as it stands right now. So.
Exactly.
Good deal.
We are
Best
your
place to
source.
be.
We are your source for high school sports. Highlights nowhere else but right here.
Yep.
So that's gonna wrap it up, and probably next week. Speaking of wrapping up, probably be our season wrap-up show, guys.
Could be. Could very well be.
Could very well be our.
Are we picking losses, Jack?
No, just saying that there's a possibility that
It's possible. It's the
There's-
playoffs. Anything's possible.
Anything can happen.
anything could happen. We could be having a full slate. We could have another prep zone. Who knows? No, okay.
No, couldn't have that. Sorry.
I,
Numbers don't work.
I'm trying to get my hopes up here, man. I love high school football. What do you want me to say? For Jonathan Husky and David Mitchell, I'm Jack Patterson. Go out and enjoy the games this week, if there's one in your town. And we'll see you for week 14, 13. No, wait.
We lost count.
I've lost count because this was supposed to be 13, and I said 12 at the beginning. Have a fantastic evening, everybody, and we'll see you next week for the season wrap-up of the PrepZone football preview. Oh, boy, that was brutal.
Oh, perfect.
You say I'm good?
Is he good?
All right. That's for Jack's Facebook show. Yeah, it's Murphy. I don't know. That's a red helmet. That's Arizona State. Okay. Jack's Facebook show in 3, 2, Well, we don't have as many teams left in our area anymore, but a lot of Georgia teams, especially in 1A, going. I want to see, can Marion County bring that same kind of energy that they brought in the regular season to the playoffs? I know they will, but will it be intensified? I think it will be. Marion County, a great team. Also interested, like everyone else is, I think, to see what Callaway does at Washington County. That game's going to be huge. If Callaway can win that one, they got a good shot to go a long way in these playoffs.
So you telling them to just bring it, right?
Okay.
We're done.
You weren't going to put that on there.
No, I didn't put my when I cut it last week. I might do it next week.
Jack, leave that up for a second. Hold a second.
Jack, be nimble. Jack, be quick.